And you know, it's all right even if there's some holdback and some of that. We talked yesterday about getting into the zone and what that's like. And some of you are probably in the zone, or you're 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And last night we met with Jackie and Leo and talked a little bit about the boot camp and what the difference is between the 1 day I'm a champion and the 3-day boot camp. And of course, one of the differences is that the length of time, and we get to stay in this process long enough to break through. There will come a day when we'll have 5-day, 10-day, maybe even 30-day boot camps. That's in the future. Yeah. So if you can imagine what you'd be like after 10 days of this or 30 days of this, right? Just imagine what that'll be like. So we have that to look forward to. But here we are today, and each of us are where we're at, and it's all good, it's all perfect. And I'm having my breakthroughs. Okay, it may not look like it because you don't see me doing my things, but absolutely. It doesn't stop. That's the opportunity here. The breakthrough and the potential to become more human and more magnificent keeps going, no matter where we're at. So there's sort of a saying that the people who are comfortable with change are the ones who have the winning strategy. Now that doesn't mean we're born comfortable with change, because I don't think we are. I think most people resist change, especially after a certain age. Like younger people are more open to it, but maybe not so much after a certain age. And yet, we can still become comfortable with change. We can still embrace it because we know what the benefit is of engaging with it, right? And probably all of you have some experience with that, and you're pretty much in that place, or you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't have put yourself in this sort of crucible to be refined. So it may be difficult, and it's worth going through because of what's on the other side, right? So thanks for your bravery and courage to be in the process and go for what's on the other side. And you may be surprised what's on the other side. So when we started out, we talked about getting in the zone, getting in the process and getting in the zone. And it's probably worth talking a little bit about what that looks like, the zone. For me, I don't know that I can describe it 100%, but I know when I'm in it, because when I'm in it, it's fun. First of all, number one, it's exciting. It's like, why wouldn't I want to do this all day, every day? Why wouldn't I want this to be my life? This is too much fun. I get paid for this? Wow, what a bonus. I'd do it anyway. And part of that fun is, first of all, being fully actuated as a human being, running full out. I don't know if you remember when you were a child. I know I do. Just running, feeling the wind and just being full out, and it's just fun to run. You see little kids, infants, they just run everywhere. It's like, yeah, life's great, right? And so I think that still resides in all of us, the joy of playing full out. Now, you know, the body gets a little older and the aches and pains, I'm not talking about that part, although there are some mental aches and pains, right? But the joy of playing full out, that for me is one of the characteristics of being in the zone. I'm just loving it. I'm loving it. There's also the joy of contributing to people in the zone and not being attached to whether they say yes or no, not being attached to the result. It's like just the joy of giving. And if they accept it, great, and if they don't, that's great too. It's not the gift. Giving the gift is not dependent upon how they receive it. Yeah, it's nice if they receive it well, but it's not important to my joy of giving the gift. So if I'm on the phone or I'm on the street, I'm just giving, and that feels good. The other piece about the zone is I don't get tired. There's no tired or weary or gee, when's this over or all that. It's just, I want to keep going. There's also people saying yes. There is a certain amount of yes that comes back at me in the zone. People, it's contagious. Like when I'm in the zone, they may not even know what I'm talking about, but they're saying yes because they want part of that life. The zone is where the life energy comes flowing through so much and so fast, I feel really good, and they want that. So they want to join me in the zone. And if it's about life force or be lean or body balance or whatever, they'll say yes, not even necessarily knowing what it is. And the other piece is it's not only contagious, but it's also confronting to the people around me. When I'm in the zone, it's contagious for people to go, well, I'll just join that. And it's also confronting to other people to go, what are you on about? You know, gee, that looks too confronting. That's too weird. Why don't you tone it down a little? But that's not coming from concern for me. That's coming from, gee, maybe I could do that and I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So, you know, for me, a good strategy in that place is just pour it on more. Yeah, well, if you don't like it, there it is.
Yeah.
You know, I'm wearing red today. You got red on. I'm out there today. If you don't like it, it's not my problem. Whose problem is that? That's your problem. So the zone is a magical place. And today's a great day to break into the zone. Now, the other thing I know about the zone is that if I don't sustain it, it dies. If I don't find a way to keep it alive, it dies. And it dies through neglect. So what's some strategies for keeping it alive? Anybody?
Keep doing it.
Keep doing it. Yeah, that's it. It's action-oriented. If it's just a mental process, and part of it is, you know, I can sit around and get myself mentally psyched into the zone, but then when I go out on the street or call somebody and they say no or whatever, they don't, you know, then it's gone. That's not truly the zone. That's a great place to be, but it's in the action that keeps it alive. It's in my action keeping it alive for me. It's not my action keeping anybody else. It's my action keeping it alive for me, and it spills over. Yeah, Lee?
I just wanted to add, you know, 50 years ago, as families, we used to bath once a week. You know? And of course now we shower every day, sometimes twice a day. And I kind of linked that shower every day is what we need, that motivation, just like showering, just like washing. It's just it just goes hand in hand. And if you don't do it daily, you know, it does dissipate.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you didn't hear this, if you're watching this footage, Liam's sharing that we used to bathe once a week. Now we shower once a day, sometimes twice a day. And we need to keep that going to feel clean, right? Or I think that's what you're saying. It's keeping it going.
Keeping the motivation going.
It's keeping the motivation going. And what's the best way to keep the motivation going for ourselves? Anybody?
You stay in touch. Stay connected.
Stay connected with people who are on the same track. Because if we go out there, when I'm in the zone, I can go out there, it doesn't bother me. People can say what they want, I don't care. I'm a rich man, I'm successful, I'm loving life. Yeah, have at it. You can say whatever you want, it's not gonna bother me. But if I'm not connected to my community, none of that makes any difference. I can still go out there and feel weird and small and questioning and all this stuff. So I've got to stay connected. I've got to stay connected to the people in my community, the people who are in the same place, the same objectives, the same program, the same lifestyle, the same everything. I got to stay there. Otherwise I die. I die from neglect. That part of me dies from neglect. Very, very important. Early days, we used to do it by the phone. We used to get on the phone with each other multiple times a day because we were that weak and we just didn't have it. You know, we just didn't. And maybe some of you know that feeling. So if you need to do that, by all means do it, but you're here today connected in the community. You're deep in the bosom of the community today. And so the other piece of that is going forward, which we want to focus on today, is how are we going to stay connected tomorrow, Monday morning, when everything, all the normal life comes back? How are we going to stay connected all the way through next Saturday when we do another I Am a Champion, and through the next Saturday and next Saturday and through the next boot camp, which in this case will be in Queenstown in about 4 weeks, and then in Auckland, and then quite likely back here again, and you know, on and on. So critical piece, stay connected to the community. I mean, it's just, it's so foundational and fundamental. If we're in relationship with somebody, family member or whatever, and we don't see them for years, how strong, I mean, the bond's still there on some level, but it's not a deep relationship if we don't stay connected. So our relationship with our success and our goals, we need to invest into that, pay it forward, stay connected. I know probably a lot of you read your goals every day. I mean, very powerful thing. Stay connected. Why do you want that goal? Why do you want that pin level, that money? Well, so I can do this, so I can have this in my life. Very important. That, you know, beyond the connecting with my goals is stay connected with other people that are going to help me make it through the tough times. What else? Somebody else had, yeah.
Yesterday when we reconnected towards the end of the day, I felt a real team buzz
Yeah.
here.
Mm-hmm.
And that came from exactly what you're talking about, Michael, i.e. recreating this
Yes.
every week.
Yes.
And I immediately thought that's exactly how
It's important to hear what they have to say.
the team buzz yesterday came from us saying, why don't we carry this on and do it once a week?
Yes.
Now, the thing about the campfire, which we talked about at last conference, which the American guys, I took that really away, and that's getting back around the campfire regularly. The thing with it is, though, I was immediately nervous that we'd all go, yeah, let's do that, and then it doesn't get done. Or we as a team leave it to Jacqueline because she put it together. But to me, it's hugely important that I will look forward to coming back here again on Friday, and then again the next Friday and the next Friday. So at least I know I have one full-out boot camp revival day every week from now on. And let's not just leave it to Jacqueline to put that together. If Jacqueline's happy to do it, that's wonderful, but we don't all go out of here today going, oh, well, somebody will do it, and then nobody does it, you know?
That is so well put, Paul, and thank you for that. Because that's the invitation today, and that's a beautiful segue, is for you to stand for your success. And part of that success is having events that you organize. All of you want to be successful, right? You want to be wealthy and powerful and connected and admired for your success, or whatever all that is for you. Well, part of that is you being the leader now, not when you're Crown Diamond or when you're whatever. It's you holding power hours. That's how you keep it alive. It's you standing for an I Am a Champion Day, and ultimately for another boot camp. Will you show up for your own meeting? Yeah. If you call a power hour, you're going to show up. If it's somebody else's, well, the kids are sick, or the car needs this, or I'm just tired, or I'm confronted. But if it's your event, you're sort of forcing yourself to do it in a certain way. And in early days, that's important. Later on, that may not be so important. You'll just go because you know how great a time it's going to be. But early on, yes, absolutely. So the invitation in part today is for each of you. We discussed this yesterday a little bit. What are you going to do Monday? What are you going to organize this week? How many power hours are you going to have? How many home meetings, which is very similar to Power Hour, except there's new people. And are you coming to the I Am a Champion Day? And for example, Liam in Christchurch, nobody's going to organize it down there but you. You're the one that's here. You're the one that invested to be here. You're standing up as a leader. So we'll expect for you to organize these down there. And the same Penny over in the Bay and the rest of you who have different locations and locales. If you don't do it, who is? It ain't going to happen, right? So today's the day to make those commitments while you're in the campfire space, while you're still warm around the camp. Because I almost guarantee you, once you get out there tomorrow, it's going to look a lot different. You know, we use this analogy of the oasis in the desert, right? Probably some of you have heard that. So if you're crossing the desert, the deal is you want to get from, you hit this oasis where there's water and there's dates and there's shade and you can hang out and life's good, but at some point you got to get on with it and move out if you're going to cross the desert. But when you get out there, it's hot, it's dry, it's dusty, it's debilitating, it's discouraging. The only thing that keeps you going is just knowing what? There's another oasis just ahead. So you've got to get to the next oasis to get refreshed so you can face the desert again. And if you do that enough, ultimately you cross the desert. Same here. When you leave here, right now it's beautiful, it's fun, there's great feeling, there's the opportunity for success, there's warmth and support, and all the good stuff is here. But when you leave here, and tonight or tomorrow, and you're out there, it's a desert. People will not necessarily understand what you're up to. they will hear your goals and go, oh yeah, you're just dreaming again, or no, you can't do that, or whatever they're going to say. It's going to be their reaction, their stuff, not yours. So that desert you've got to cross. And if you don't have another oasis out there, you'll probably end up agreeing with them. Yeah, that's unrealistic. I wasn't born to a big family. I guess I'll just watch television. Or whatever goes on. You've got to have that next oasis or you'll die, your spirit will die. But in this case, in the desert, they actually exist. You got to get from place to place. But here, do they exist out there? Well, you got conference coming up maybe in Melbourne. But you've got to create them between now and then. That's way too big a desert to go to March or April. That's too big a desert to cross. You got to have something this week. You got to have something this week. You got to have a power hour or home meeting to get you to Saturday when the next event is, when the next Diamond Champion is. Just even crossing the desert of a day. You got to have things during the day. Now a lot of people, not a lot, certain people we work with know they can't cross the day desert because they just don't have the strength yet. So what do? We say, okay, well look, here's what we want you to do. We want you to email us every day before you go to bed, every night, and tell us what you did and what your goal is for the next 24 hours. And certain people do that. They get themselves through the day with that little oasis of getting connected back with the community. So if you need that, do it. After a while, most people don't need that. Okay, well I can make it through the day. Now I'm going to do it on a weekly basis. And then people go, oh, well I'll do it on a monthly, or I'll do it on the year basis. So like I'm working today with Manfred around his Crown Diamond hood. We don't need to check in every day on that, but we do need to check in maybe every month or every week. So that's part of the technology here that you want to use for yourself. And today, grab that. Start, while you're making your call, start to think. And when you have especially good calls, say, do I want more of this or less of this? Good feeling. You know, I'm not saying you're going to fully get into the zone like a top athlete today. You may, and I hope you do. But you may just get a glimmer of, gee, that was a good call. This was good. I helped them and I helped myself and I feel good about it. Grab that. And then plan to have more of that. So you've gotta systematize this or it will die of neglect. Anybody else? Yes, Paul.
Sorry again, but one thing I didn't say this morning, but it's fascinating that this came up for me last night was, and something we haven't shared at all, is if I, during these 3 days, have made 60, 70 phone calls, half a dozen orders or whatever, 20 people coming to meetings, the one thing that occurred to me last night was if I'm not particularly organised, the back office is brilliant once you get your head around using it when you have your orders and for the follow-ups. But if you're not particularly organised, the massive amount of action that I'm creating now, I really have to find a way to follow all that up and diary it, because I'll lose it and I'll lose my confidence and my integrity out there if I don't keep all of that in order. I don't think there's any one system for one person. I've been doing that for years, so you have to work it out for yourself, but it's something we all really need to do. Otherwise you'll stop doing it because I can't handle the volume.
And you know, I'll give you, to carry the desert analogy on further. Let's say you have this wonderful camp, you're refreshed, you're ready to go, and you don't pack your animals correctly, and you take off, and you're about halfway to the next oasis, and you go, oh, I forgot the water, or I forgot the food, or I forgot my child, or whatever. You know, the mental discouragement could be enough right there to die right there. Just the mental fog. Oh, I was wrong, or how bad am I, or oh, that's stupid, or whatever goes on for people. It is important. It's extremely important, especially if you want to run a big organization. Now, here's a little secret. The bigger your group gets, the less kind of nitty-gritty there is, because at this point, we do recruit people, but we're not, you know, trying to get 30 people to tonight's meeting, because we're running the meeting. And you all will be there at some point. But to get to there, we had to manage, how do I get 30 people to this meeting? And those details are not my strong suit. we have developed some tools. We have the LifeStar Pro, which you can use if it suits you to use, which will manage all your leads and contacts and follow up, and they'll automatically get these emails on a regular basis even if you're sleeping. So that is a beautiful system, and we developed just for this community. There are other things you can do, but whatever you do, make sure you have a system as much for your mental strength as anything else. I remember when we were aggressively building, one of the biggest problems I was having, I'd go to bed at night thinking, oh my gosh, what did I forget? And oh, I'm so stressed because I couldn't sit down and watch a movie because what am I missing? And did I forget to call somebody? And who do I owe what to? And I couldn't be myself. I couldn't enjoy what success I had. I was so stressed about these details. So whatever the system is, absolutely. Make sure the animals are loaded properly, all the gear is on, so that you can go out confidently and get the work done. So that's, anybody else having that challenge? You having that challenge? Okay. Well, you may want to investigate that system or another system. Get with us today. We've got several. We've got the cards. We've got the pages. We've got the diary. Get an assistant, whatever you need to do.
But with that also, with the regular get-togethers, if someone walks in on a Monday and say, look, I've created all this chaos, and someone else isn't busy, they can help unload it.
Yeah.
Because you've got everyone else there, and if the biggest problem is someone's too busy, you're not, then you help them with their system.
Yeah.
Because it's better that someone's doing well in the group, because it gives the whole company a better name, so it makes everyone feel better about what they're doing.
Right.
And so everyone can just pitch in to help with the backup, the follow-up, whatever. It doesn't matter cross-line, whatever.
Yeah.
Because then it gives everyone more confidence.
It is a team effort.
Yeah. And with the boot camp, like you're saying, it sounds like a 30-day one can sound scary, but it'd be a great thing to advertise to a business person. We work 1 month a year.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
so, or you can do your 10 days, or your 10-day ones every 3 months, because that's when your drop-offs happen between 2 and 3 months.
Yeah.
So you're going to pick up your people who've just dropped.
Yeah.
Or you're going to get the people before they drop, and you're going to be there to get that intense thing by doing 10-day ones, but it's still only 1 month a year.
That's right.
And it's not a bad push.
That's right. And here's something you can be saying to people. I've got a few things that are possible things to say to people when you ring them today. So number one is, along the lines of what Shana just shared, is Cliff. Yeah, I know you're a busy businessman, and boy, you've got success, but I also know you're after residual income, because that's lifestyle money. That's the kind of money you can enjoy without having to stress or be working all the time and still get the money. And I know you want to leave it to your child too. So look, I have a proposal for you. Again, I know you're busy, and this may not be for you, but I want you to check this out. What if we could just work 1 day a week? What if we could do a 90-day challenge? You and I, and over the next 3 months, 90 days, we get together every Saturday from 9 to 5, and we build your business on Saturday. Can you see yourself doing that? And he says, yes, I can do that. Then he starts thinking, well, boy, I'm giving up every Saturday for 3 months, but you know, to have what he has, yeah, I'll do it. I can't make the 28th of next month because I've got a wedding, but other than that, every Saturday I'm yours. So you say, okay, great. So, okay, show up down at this place 9 to 5 every Saturday. And what does he do? We bring him to an I'm a Champion Day every Saturday, because we've got one scheduled every Saturday. He comes in, he brings his leads, we get right to work, and we put in a solid 8 hours of prospecting and follow-up every Saturday. Can you see how he could really build a business with that? I mean, if we put in a solid 8 hours of outbound prospecting every week, he's going to have something happen. It's impossible not to have something happen. And during the week, because he's in the flow, he's going to make a few calls here and there, do some follow-up, and yeah, I can only talk to you Wednesday, sure, and he'll call Wednesday. But he's got those oases or those anchors or that structure so that he can, like Shana said, build it with some certainty on his schedule. Now, if he can't make Saturday, well, I'll set up a special power hour day with him every Sunday. I don't care, I'm working anyway. Or Tuesdays, or whatever works. But we've got this standing appointment to get together and work on his business. So for a business person, that makes sense. To do the boot camp thing for 30 days or 10-day blocks, or we can build it. And that's a powerful, powerful thing that you can now offer people. Powerful thing. So That's one thing you can be talking to people about today, but you want to have that, you want to make sure you're able to deliver on that you've got yourself set up for that. What are some other things you could be calling people? What's the good news you could share today with somebody on the phone? What's the good news?
Well, price reductions.
Price reductions. You know, Liam, I know you've been using the product for a while. Look, I just want to tell you. Now, this is weird, but we've got a price reduction. Same product. Actually, it's a better product. So there's number 2, right? It's a better product, and there's a price reduction. Where I noticed you dropped off, and here, I'm going to invite you to come back on. What's the third thing? 90-day guarantee, right? And we've got a 90-day guarantee. So just come on back on. Let's try it for a couple of months. Better product, lower price, money back guarantee. How cool is that? So those are 3 things. What else? Be lean. Be new. You can share that. Look, hey, look what we got coming. I actually want you to see some pictures of people who have just carved off big chunks of their belly fat, like in 30 days, 90 days. You know anybody be interested in that? Absolutely. So, you know, that's number 4. What else have you got?
With all of that, I said it earlier, but we just can't fail while you guys are here and doing meetings for us.
There you go.
So with all of that, you just put up, and we got these guys that come from the States to do this for us.
Yeah.
Get there. Yeah. Monday, Wednesday.
And a number of you have set up appointments with some of us to do calls over the next couple of days, haven't you? Or you've got us today to get right on the phone. So that's big news, right? Oh, well, I've got these millionaires. They're actually my partners I work with. They just came from the States over here to work with me this weekend. And here they are. And look, I'd like to just introduce you. Look, nothing gained, nothing ventured, nothing gained. When's the last time you talked to a millionaire? Boom. So just put them on the phone with us. That's another big thing. What are some other big things? How about just get 3 and yours is free? Hey, Seamus, I know you've been on the product a while as a customer, or you're thinking about getting on the product. Look, I just want to offer you this. What if I could show you how to get your product for free? Just tell 3 of your mates, get it for free. Or, you know, the weight loss, get it for free. So you got my 3, right? What else have you got? I even have to make a list because there's so many things, wonderful things here.
Well, we're building a community now. So we've got a team here.
Yeah.
We've got a team of people to get together with.
Regular meetings, regular weekly meetings.
Yeah.
And you involve your family too, because I mean, obviously, all of the family can take the products, no matter how old they are, and enroll themselves in a culture very early on. They get to teenagers and
how
things
many
like
people
that.
have children, and you don't want your children being corrupted by some, you know, the world. You want them in a solid family business where you can work together and you can pass it on. When you're ready to lay it down, you can still keep the income, but you know, they can take your position over and run it, can't they? And make some really, really, really good money. Yeah? So the family business aspect is not to be over. I mean, how many of you want to turn your children over to some employer where they're going to be, you know, doing mindless work all day and being told what to do and limited in their income and, you know, all that stuff that goes with being somebody else's wage slave? How many of you want your children to be in a business, a family business with, you know, integrity and making a difference and unlimited income? A lot of people want that. They just don't have access to it.
I just also want to mention something that Seamus just said that was just glossed over, which is the community aspect. Because one of the things, and I use this in my invitations a lot, joining a community of people who are really committed and have a vision to change this planet and change life on the planet for people. You know, to empower people to really live what they came here to live, you know, to do what they came here to do. Because I believe we all came here to do something special. Each one of us, we're here for a purpose. What is that? Most people don't even think about that because they don't have the time, they don't even go there. But for me, to invite somebody in to join and be part of a community of people who are really up to something in the world, that's huge for a lot of people. Maybe more so, you know, in the United States than here. Community is a big part of life here. Over there, it's not so much. So it's a big thing. But I think even here, you know, being part of something like that, people yearn for that. So thank you for bringing that up.
Two other important things that you can be sharing with people. Yeah, Cliff.
High growth through a recession, and we're going to be $1 billion, if not the biggest company in our entire industry. That should get somebody excited.
Yeah. Everybody's breathing. How about David Collister? Can you share that with people? Can you share his track record of success? Proven. The last 3 companies that David's worked with have become the fastest growing, huge companies in our industry. Why would we be the only one that can't make it? And he's totally committed that this is the best of the lot. You may have heard me share yesterday. 3 years ago, the latest company he was working with, a company named Visalis, was the same size as we are now. Now they're going to do $1 billion this year. That is a huge growth. And he makes no bones about it. We have several advantages over them. First of all, our product is far superior. Far superior. Number 2, our management team has super high integrity. I'm not disparaging them, but he makes no bones about it. We're positioned for growth. And the leadership and community we have here is extremely rare in the industry. The way we operate. So guys, we're on the rocket sled. You can tell people that. You can share that excitement about David, about the high growth, about being recession-proof. Our industry is growing during a global recession. 2 other individual pieces of that you can share. What time of year is it right now? Anybody? I mean, it's New Year's, right?
Resolutions.
Is this the time people examine their life, maybe even just on a cursory level, but they go, you know, here I am another year. Ugh, another year older, another year maybe fat, maybe not. But, you know, they're not happy necessarily. I mean, some people are clearly. A lot of us are. But isn't this the time, the perfect time to be ringing up people and say, hey, hi, take a look. Do you want to be here next year? Do you want to be where you want to be? Right? Important. And then the last piece I want to dwell on, and this is the most important, is you. Is you. How have you changed? Just from Friday to today. Just from last year to this year. What's your commitment to your business? Do you have a renewed, strong commitment to your business? Can you call up people and say, hey, this may not be for you, but I want you to know what I'm doing and where I'm going. And I'd love for you to go, and if you don't want to go, that's fine, but I owe it to you to tell you I am going to rock this thing. And I'd love for you to come along, because we can do this together, we can get rich together, party together, and it may not be for you, but I'm doing it whether you do it or not. Can, you know, that kind of energy, I'm not saying use my words, but you're the big news. You're the big news. I just want to share
something about that, because we had a guy in our downline who built Crown Diamond probably faster than anybody's ever done it in Life Force history. And he would call people at 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, this guy was unbelievable. We would and he was a master at 3-ways. That's how he built his business. We were on the phone with him hours every day, one after the other. And he'd only do it for like 2 minutes. He'd time it. 2 minutes. And so we would get the phone would ring at 1 o'clock in the morning. And here he'd be on the other end of the phone. And he'd say, you know, oh, Krista, hi. I'd like you to meet George. George, this is Krista. Told you a little bit about her. Krista, tell George why you're in Life Force. What you see here that's so exciting. And so I'd start talking, and after 2 minutes he'd go, great, thank you, awesome, thanks, lot, and he'd hang up. And then the phone would ring again, and he'd call Michael and say the same thing. And I said to him one day,
with George?
The same guy.
Yeah, it was the same guy with George, right? 4 or 5 people. And he'd call Dr. Barry Burns, who was also his upline, and he'd do the same thing to him. So in about a 6 or 10 minute slot, he'd have 3-wayed this guy to like 4 or 5 people, right? And at the end of it, this guy's like, sign me up. And so I said to him one day, how can you call people at like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning? You know, he said, oh yeah, he said, people tell me, you know, what are you doing calling me at 2 o'clock in the morning? I was fast asleep. And he said, I'd say to them, this is too important to sleep.
I love it.
I mean, he was amazing. And he would just sign people up like that. So, you know, what Michael's saying is like, it's me, it's you. It's like, where are you in yourself and how can you communicate that?
So it's going beyond being reasonable.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It is absolutely, thank you.
It's just going
beyond being reasonable.
There.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is like with Sunday.
How unreasonable can you get?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't call people on a Sunday, so
No.
that's sort of like
Right.
the issue for me today. So it's
Right.
like, okay, it's giving me permission to do that.
Yeah.
It's like, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a saying. It says, reasonable is the enemy of excellence. Reasonable is the enemy of excellence. You want excellence in your life? You want excellence in your profession, in yourself, your physicalness, your wealth, your contribution, your community, the respect you get from people? Be prepared to be radically unreasonable, because the world will not reward reasonable with that. You want that? You got to be different. You got to be on fire, authentic, and in the zone. Be in the zone.
Okay.
Get in the zone and stay there. Whatever it costs you, the joy of being in the zone is worth it in itself. All the other stuff, the money and the recognition and the power and all, that's all great. But that's not even the reason. It's just being in that zone, being that excited about life is the reward in itself. So you guys ready to go? Yeah? What's that?
Manfred will have to switch off his phone.
No, I'm on. Somebody said there's only at the most 10 people gonna cry at your funeral, so what are you doing trying to please all these other buggers?
Yeah.
And I'm good to offer my house up for like some champion days or whatever.
Yeah.
Especially more so when school goes back.
Good.
During the week's good.
Good.
To have a regular thing at home.
Okay.
Me too. Awesome.
Okay.
Because get some intensity going.
Nice.
Bring the new people, and like I say, it's all very well to invite people.
Yeah.
But if we can invite the people, we get them going, and then we
Yes.
can sit them down,
Yes.
help them with their calls, and then
This
it's
is it.
different to basically setting them up and just letting them wander off. We bring them in,
Yeah.
then they just see that as normal.
This is the spirit, guys. Seamus is standing up saying, my house, this is what we're doing, and each of you do the same. If you're prepared to live huge, just do it. Just don't even think it. Don't get reasonable on this. Just plan on it. Just do it. That's part of the key. You've got your Be Lean. I encourage you to take it and get into action. We'll convene again at 2 o'clock for the public presentation. Drive people here. We'll get back together at 4 o'clock. We'll hook up with Auckland. We'll do some debriefing, and we'll see you on the field. And
Be
we're available.
prepared to share your story. Like that 2 o'clock meeting is your chance to get up there, tell your story, and go back to work. If you haven't got a guest here, but just be here, tell your story,
and then
go back to work. Yeah.
Today's the day. How many of you are committed to breakthrough? Yeah, all right. Well, let's go get it.